Backlash is suddenly looking a lot bigger than it did a few days ago, and Monday Night Raw is the reason why. Roman Reigns now has a dangerous new problem in Jacob Fatu, Seth Rollins has locked onto Braun Breaker, and WWE has quietly turned two separate matches into two of the most important stories on the whole card. So let's break down why these feuds matter, why they feel bigger now, and what WWE is really building toward. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu just became very real. The biggest headline coming out of Raw was Roman Reigns officially accepting Jacob Fatu's challenge for Backlash, and the way WWE presented it told you everything. This was not treated like some random post-WrestleMania filler feud. This was pushed like a major direction. Roman is now back on top as World Heavyweight Champion, and instead of easing into a safe title defense, WWE went straight to Jacob Fatu. That is a huge statement. Because when a company gives you the first big challenger after WrestleMania, they are telling you that name matters, and Jacob absolutely feels like he matters right now. He is not being booked like a stepping stone. He is not being framed like a guy who is just there to lose and disappear. WWE is making him feel like a serious threat, and that is exactly why this match is getting bigger by the day. Next up, the real reason this Roman feud feels different. What makes this feud work is that Jacob Fatu already brings built-in danger. WWE does not need to spend weeks convincing people that he is a problem. The second he is on screen, you buy it. He has the power, the chaos, the family connection, and that loose cannon energy where it feels like the whole segment could fall apart the moment he moves. That is the key. Roman Reigns is not a guy you put against just anybody. If the opponent does not feel real, then the whole feud instantly feels smaller. But Jacob does feel real. He feels violent, he feels unpredictable, and he feels like someone who could push Roman into a much darker, more intense version of himself. That is why this match already feels bigger than a normal Backlash title defense. Next up, WWE is clearly trying to make Jacob Fatu look like a top guy. This is where the booking becomes impossible to ignore. WWE did not just have Jacob confront Roman and leave it there. They kept the momentum going. They made sure Jacob stayed hot. That tells you the company is not just interested in selling one match. They are trying to raise Jacob's level in the process. And that is smart, because even if Jacob does not win at Backlash, WWE can still make him by presentation alone. If he stands across from Roman, holds his own, looks dangerous, and leaves the audience thinking this guy belongs in the main event, then the company has already won. That is how stars are built, not by endless talking. Not by waiting forever, but by throwing someone into a major spot and showing the audience that he can handle it. Right now, WWE clearly believes Jacob Fatu can handle it. Next up, Roman Reigns may need this feud too. This is not just about Jacob. Roman needs a feud like this as well. He is coming out of WrestleMania as champion again, and the first thing WWE has to do is make sure his title reign feels alive. The worst thing they could have done was give him some cold opponent that nobody really buys. Instead, they gave him Jacob Fatu, and instantly, the title picture feels more dangerous. That matters because Roman works best when there is real tension around him. When his opponent feels like an actual threat, Roman becomes more compelling. His promos get sharper, his intensity goes up, and the whole aura around him gets stronger. Jacob gives him that. So in a weird way, this feud is not just making Jacob look bigger, it is also helping Roman's new title reign start with real energy. Next up, Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker is chaos waiting to happen. The other major fight WWE pushed on Raw was Seth Rollins challenging Braun Breaker for Backlash, and honestly, this one feels like a complete war waiting to happen, because Braun Breaker is not a normal opponent. He is a wrecking ball. He moves like a lunatic. He hits like a truck. And now WWE is putting him in there with Seth Rollins, one of the safest big match names the company has. That is a fascinating combination. Seth brings the experience, the star power, and the credibility. Braun brings the danger, the speed, and the sense that something could go wrong in the best possible way. Put those two together, and you have a match that feels explosive before the bell has even rung. Next up, WWE is testing Braun Breaker at the highest level. This match says a lot about how the company views Braun right now. You do not put somebody against Seth Rollins unless you believe they can handle the spotlight. Seth is not there to carry random people. When he gets involved in a feud, WWE is telling you it matters. So this feels like a major test for Braun. Can he stand in a featured Backlash match with Seth and still feel like he belongs? Can he match that intensity? Can he leave the feud feeling bigger than he did going into it? Because if the answer is yes, then Braun Breaker's stock is only going one way, and that is up. WWE has clearly been trying to position Braun as one of the future monsters of the company, and this match feels like the next big step in that process. Next up, the Seth feud has real danger around it. One thing that makes this story even better is that there is already real damage around it. Seth has already talked about getting hurt because of Braun's speed and recklessness, and that only adds more intensity to the feud. It gives the whole thing a more personal edge. This is no longer just Seth wanting a match. Now it feels like Seth wants payback, and that is exactly what this feud needed. Because once you mix Braun's physical style with Seth's pride, the match becomes about more than just who wins. It becomes about who survives. That is what makes this one feel so strong heading into Backlash. Next up, WWE just gave Backlash 2 major matches. This is the bigger picture. Before Raw, Backlash had interesting pieces. After Raw, it feels like it has 2 genuinely major fights. Roman Reigns vs. Jacob Fatu gives the show title match danger, bloodline tension, and a possible breakout moment for Jacob. Seth Rollins vs. Braun Breaker gives the show violence, unpredictability, and a real test for one of WWE's rising stars. Those are 2 very different matches, but both feel important. And that is why Raw did such a good job here. It did not just announce things, it made them feel bigger. That is the difference. So when you put it all together, WWE really did just make Backlash bigger. Roman Reigns vs. Jacob Fatu now feels like a serious title fight with real stakes, and Seth Rollins vs. Braun Breaker feels like the kind of match that could turn into complete chaos. One feud is about power, family, and momentum. The other is about violence, pride, and proving who really belongs at the top. And if WWE keeps building both like this, then Backlash may end up feeling a lot more important than people first expected.